comment 주세요, like 좋아요 주세요, subscribe 주세요.
안녕하세요, 여러분.
Hola.
It's been a while, like doing like this, sitting on the sofa and talk about something specific, right?
Yeah, we haven't sat on the sofa since the last time.
No. I've been filming like vlogs and stuff for a while, and then I was thinking it would be nice to sit down and talk about a topic that you guys would have curious about. Yeah, so today, today's topic is meeting parents. Actually, this question was one of the most frequent questions that I've got. I'm not gonna or like one of the most frequent questions that I got, like via comments, like DMs. No. Yeah, and I can see that that would be like one of the most obstacles or difficulties in terms of international dating. Yeah, we're happy to share our story to you guys. Hopefully you guys also get some tips from our experience. And shall we begin?
Maybe later, I'm a bit hungry.
Okay, who's gonna do first?
How about you start with like you having to tell your parents, or like what your concerns were, how it was like before you told them, like.
Okay, let me tell my story first. So he is my first foreign boyfriend. I've never dated with foreign guys before. So like while we were dating, I kind of lied to my parents. Not necessarily lie, but I tried to hide that I am seeing this guy. Yeah, so I didn't have any plan. Like I didn't planned out like, oh, when will I introduce my boyfriend? Because we like, not that it's our relationship was not good, it's just like I was not sure like how could we figure it out, our long distance, or if we are gonna do that, or like so many obstacles in the future. Yeah, but deep in my mind I was also curious about what he is thinking close to the end of him leaving. But one day,
Well, like I understood for the long time where you like maybe didn't tell your parents, but then yeah, closer to when I was leaving, like you were saying, I said like I was going back to Canada for I don't know how long, right? And I thought like, hey, listen, like we've been dating for a while at that point, and if
like 6 days.
like 6 days. And you know, we don't know when your parents are gonna meet me, because I don't know when I'm gonna be able to come back to visit Korea, or when you and your parents will come to visit me. Like, so like I thought this would be an opportunity for me to meet them, right? Just before I leave, so they can miss me.
Yeah, so he came up with this idea. So he asked me to introduce parents to him, but first I thought it would be difficult. But you actually asked me like several times.
Yeah, I thought it was important, and I know it wasn't easy for you to decide, but I thought it was important. And like I know that if you say no a few times, then that's no. But if you just say no once, it might be just because of a quick impulse rather than actually thinking about it.
Yeah, so I was convinced. So I now that I'm telling you, I didn't know how to talk to my parents. So my conclusion was, first, in terms of difficulty, my mom is more casual. She's close to me. I talk with dating stuff with her as well. So I decided to open to my mom first, and then I was not sure about my dad, because not because he's like scary or something. He's like, for him, I'm his daughter.
Baby girl.
Yeah. So I didn't want to like hurt his feeling or something. The funny thing is, what I planned was to introduce him on Buddha's birthday because I was not working and he was not working, so it's kind of like good timing. So I talked to my mom like secretly, and they're like, "Mom, I have a boyfriend." And my mom was like, "What?" Yeah, but she kind of like felt that I'm dating someone, but then she didn't know it was a foreigner. But like she was okay, like, oh, like, yeah, I'd happy to meet him. And then I invited him to come over to my neighborhood, and we met in the temple.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know if you remember, but your mom went first to the temple.
Yeah.
And I was waiting outside your building, but at a bench nearby. And I think I saw pictures of her before. You maybe showed me. And I saw her walking like right in front of me. I was on a bench, I was just walking right in front towards the temple. And I'm on my phone, but I didn't really look at her. But obviously in this kind of neighborhood, there's not a lot of foreign people around, right? So she's a foreign guy. She's like, Right? So she told you after, right?
Yeah, actually my mom also saw like a foreign guy like
She
sitting
said a
down.
handsome foreign guy.
Anyway, a foreign guy like sitting on the bench. She also thought like, oh, that's him. And we went to the temple. We had that like free lunch that we get like on Buddha's birthday in temple. My mom brought a blanket and we sat down on the grass and then like eat bibimbap.
Yeah.
And talked. My parents they're not really a fluent English speaker, so I pretty much translated between them.
And I'm not a fluent Korean speaker.
Yeah.
Yet. Especially at that time.
Yeah. After we had lunch in the temple, we went to nearby cafe and like having pastries and coffee and had small talk.
It was nice. Jubi had to translate everything, so it was always going.
No, but
it was a nice little talk, and I tried with the Korean that I did know.
yeah.
재밌어.
Yeah, and my mom was actually happy because like you asked her questions. Not only just like it's like many Korean people like feel shy or try not to be rude at the same time. Like they tend to stay like really quiet.
Yeah.
But he just asked questions, and it was very lively. Like
I'm not
very interactive.
I'm not a shy guy. I practice.
And then
Dun, dun, dun.
that was May, right?
Yeah.
And then he went to trip to Asia, like all over the Asia.
Yeah, for a few months.
Yeah, and until then I couldn't introduce him to my dad, and obviously my mom kept secret. But he asked me, like constantly asked me to introduce him to my dad as well. So I decided to introduce him. Him meeting my dad was on my graduation, university graduation. It was August. He came back from
the trip
like,
to
the
Korea.
Asia trip to Korea to attend my graduation. And then I also go to my dad and like actually a day before the graduation tell him like, Dad, you're coming to my graduation, you should come to my graduation. And then like he said like, of course, like I will go to your graduation. And then like, oh Dad, I have something to tell you. And then my dad was like, what? I have a boyfriend. He's a foreigner. He's from Canada. He's a Jewish. Like every
he doesn't know what to think. Too much information at once.
Yeah, actually he looked a bit confused, like because like too much information at the same time. And I would like to invite him and introduce him to you, like officially. And he was like, okay, yeah, like what should I wear? Like that.
He asked you?
Yeah. I went to their university for graduation with my parents, and Noi came by himself to my university. We met in the morning, and then he was waiting for me, like holding the flowers.
Yeah.
Like the meeting itself was pretty casual, no?
Yeah.
It was not like too formal, like that.
No, I'm not a very formal guy.
Yeah.
I embarrass Jubi in public a lot. No, but it was interesting because that's kind of from your side, right?
Yeah.
And then for me, like just before I met, meeting her mom, Juby prepped me. Like I kind of saw that her mom's a bit maybe easier to introduce, so I wasn't nervous either way. But like with that, I felt really comfortable. You know, it's a celebration, Buddha's birthday. And then for her dad, it would be my first time meeting also like a Korean dad, to say, right? And I watched a few K-dramas to know that I had my own little stereotypes that, but like I was excited more than nervous, but obviously I need him to approve of me too, right? So I was like, okay, thinking of things to do and not to do. I was even asking Juby of like, are there things I shouldn't say or shouldn't do that I generally do? And she's like, everything, just everything
don't
you do.
Don't eat food with your hands, don't fart, don't burp.
I was a bit like, okay, this is the showtime. But it was like, you know, by the end of the day, like I knew how Juby is, like how she grew up. I met her mom, so like how much different can her dad be, right? And she told me she's similar to her dad in many ways.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we'll get along. It was nice meeting him. Like I can see that he was observing me, but he was nice. You know, he was asking me questions. Yeah, I didn't really feel nervous. You know, I liked answering and I wanted to ask him. I also wanted to ask him questions.
Yeah.
So he can see that I'm like.
It's somehow lucky for you. My parents can't speak English that well because I can translate. Like I'm the filter.
You're the filter. It's like, so Noi, do you like to, you know, go out drinking, having fun? Oh fuck yeah, man! Oh, so good. What did he say? He said yes, he enjoys a cup of beer once in a while.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the filter going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was for mine. And then we went out. It was really nice. They took me to a really nice. Well, obviously it was for Juby's graduation. But I was there.
No, it was for you.
It was
like my graduation was nothing.
Graduation was very nice, but we went out all together to a pretty nice like Korean barbecue place, very fancy, which was very good. Where we talked some more. I showed them all the foods that I don't like, and but no, it was very good. And I ate some foods that maybe weren't my favorite, but I ate them anyway. But it was good. Yeah. How was the lunch for you? There was like sitting in a booth, you know, like.
I was also nervous because I haven't introduced anyone to my parents. So, but it's a lot better than not telling or like you said. And
so I was right.
I feel really appreciate.
Yeah, I felt like it's good that they met because they have some kind of assurance, right?
Yeah.
Imagine like telling them you're gonna move to Canada and they've never met me.
So you planned out me moving to Canada?
Maybe. It was one of the options, right? So I thought like, okay, if you end up moving here, they'll want to know what you're moving for.
Yeah, I was happy that you brought out that talk first. I was touched. No!
Touch.
The fact that you initiated that, my parents also felt appreciative.
Yeah, so it was good. And then they met my parents, but let's first talk about you meeting my parents.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So now we're gonna talk about what my parents did and didn't know about Juby up until before they actually met her. And kind of from my perspective, what I told them, what I didn't tell them, okay? So first of all, in the beginning, they didn't know about Juby at all. You know, just kind of like how Juby didn't tell about me. I generally not want to tell my parents about people I'm dating, but they ended up actually finding out, I think from my brother, because I called them once from Korea. You know, we were talking and they're like, by the way, Noi, someone told us that you're dating someone. I'm like, oh, yeah.
That was still like kind of in the beginning.
Maybe, but that was a few months after.
So
first they didn't know, and then I told them a bit about you, of course, and then showed them pictures. First of all, Juby actually met them only when she came to visit Canada after I already moved back. But of course, parents being parents, they want to make sure, you know, my parents are obviously like me, Jewish, right? And marrying Jewish and all that stuff, you know, being with Jews is very important. But we're not religious, and by the end of the day, you know, my parents understand that it's not the most important thing for someone else to be Jewish, but for them to have like, to be a good person by the end of the day. You know, if they're a good person, which she's not. So neither thing is working for her right now. It's a really tough battle. That's the most important thing, right? So I kept saying all these things about how Jubi's a good person sometimes, and and so it was kind of, from my perspective, I'm like, okay, Jubi is a good person. She just has to show it to them when she meets them, right? So I was a bit like nervous, and it's opposite of what people usually do, because being Israeli, my parents like someone who's assertive, talkative, not shy. And Jubi, it's okay by nature, so it's a bit more shy in the beginning. They like girls who are more assertive.
Yeah.
And that was a bit hard at first, for me. Like I kept trying to prep Jubi. Like,
yeah,
Jubi,
you know what?
Don't be
like,
shy.
I
you
knew
can call them
that.
by their names.
I knew that, but it was so hard for me even calling names. Like, it's just so difficult to.
Yeah. So how was it for you, like, before meeting them and like me prepping you? Like, how was it for you?
I also saw your parents' picture and picked up some things from what you said, but like, you're Jewish and foreigner, right?
Okay.
So I had to consider like double things, like,
yeah.
Okay, Western culture, but also I have to consider like Jewish culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's like the two differences, right? Yeah, and I arrived to the airport to Canada, and
Oh, so wait, the funny thing is, I'll mention this so kind of background. So when I met Jubi's parents, okay, I met them for maybe half a day, at her graduation and lunch. Like a normal way to meet parents, half a day, a bit of pressure for half a day, but then it's done and over with. But Jubi, how she met my parents, she came to Canada and slept over in our house for 10 days. So a bit more pressure for her.
I know. So like, first meeting, sleep there for 10 days. Like, showing my no makeup faces, having breakfast every day together. But you have to know that I am not that shy in Korean culture. And his parents, like, obviously we can talk in English as well, which is good, but his parents are very welcoming, and they're really like friendly in terms of inviting people over, and like, I felt more comfortable because of them, because I'm like relatively shy compared to like Jewish, like Israeli culture.
Yeah.
But like, his mom or his parents like asked me questions, so there was a ping pong at least. If I don't talk, they don't talk out of courtesy or something, then it's gonna be just all silent dinner.
Yeah.
But thanks to them, it was pretty interactive. His mom also talked about like Canada. It's like a surface talk, but it was still really good. And I was like so impressed of how she prepared for Shabbat dinner. She printed out all the menu with like the wordings, welcoming wordings for me. And it was like overwhelming, but it was amazing. I'm just talking about the experience, about dinner experience, but like, it was really nice. They were not shy at all. They just treated me like as if we knew each other already. I'm just trying to be more initiative, but it's still hard.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, but now I can call her name.
Yeah, so it was good. So we both got lucky, I think, that our parents are more open-minded, relatively.
I love his parents, and his whole family are welcoming me.
And me and her dad are ping pong buddies.
Yeah, actually.
We play ping pong against each other. And
yeah, my mom and him is pretty similar.
yeah,
So many similar
her
things.
mom and me are similar in a lot of things, more than Jubi and me.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Bye.
So we, in conclusion, our parents are not really like against or concerned about
being together. Yeah, I think it's important because like maybe not all couples will be as lucky.
Yeah.
But you need to be considerate of your parents. Each set of parents have their own worries, not just the stereotypical worries. So if you kind of help address those with your parents, it can make it a lot easier, I think. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helps, even with more strict parents, perhaps.
Yeah, like it is true that as the relationship goes deeper, by the end of the day you have to tell your parents, even though it's gonna be more complicated.
You have to tell them, and then tell it in a way that hopefully they can approve, and if not, you know,
You have to
try
be
to appeal.
upfront more and more.
Yeah.
Like try to appeal.
So that's the story of how we met each other's parents.
Yes.
Not too many mistakes on the road.
What?
What?
Yeah, so we're appreciating both our parents a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. You
It's
even
not
played
fun.
golf with your dad, too.
Oh yeah.
My dad and her dad and me, we played golf together as well, which is pretty exciting when they
Yeah,
came
that
to
was
visit
so
here.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is like barriers, but we
Language
will
barriers.
hopefully overcome bit by bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was our story of how we met our parents.
You want to hear the story of how I met my parents? There was a
I
big
was-
light, and there was a doctor there. I was crying. I was
Like
a little
someone
bit
was like-
smaller. So,
Just a little bit. Anyway, yeah. So thank you for listening to our story
and watching.
and watching. Hopefully your relationship will
Prosper.
prosper.
We'll get to the level where you introduce each other to each other's parents
What?
successfully.
Yes, successfully.
If you have any more questions or comments about it, leave it down below.
Why are you whispering?
Leave it down below!
Yeah, if you have any questions.
I just said that. What? She can't let me have anything.
Okay. Then we will see you guys in the next video.
Next video.
Bye.
Why is it so long?